facility. So the meaning of drum is the constraint, and which constraint runs set the place for the process and or for throughput and due date performance. The last is rope. Is a schedule for releasing raw materials to the floor. The rope is devised according to the drum and the buffer. The rope ensures that non-capacity constraint resources are subordinate to the constraints. So I move to the next presenter. Okay, siapa next presenter? The next presenter.
Purpose of article. For the first article, the goal of the author is in this article was to help his senior professionals manage their research laboratories in such a way as to maximize the use of resources, time and people to the full potential of the funding provided. To show how using COQ with financial tracking at the executive level smoothly transitions into the prioritization scheme of theory of constraint (TOC) for breaking down barriers to throughput at the frontliners of production and services delivery. For Article 2, focus on the biggest constraint and use an approach where all the other processes are made to revolve around this constraint. The constraints are improved upon or strengthened, which will lead to a redefined process with another constraint becoming a bottleneck. For Article 3, investigates the differences and similarity in the implementation of TOC, production practices and the impact on different dimensions of operational performance of manufacturing. 7 measurement scales have been proposed to measure different aspects of TOC and analysis of variance, ANOVA. Technique and regression models have been employed to test the hypothesis. So for the next slide, this is the article 1 that we use. Okay, for the article 1, the issue is the first one, failure in external of cost of for quality and also for monitoring or appraisal based on PAF model. Failure in controlling the materials in infrastructure and business industry. Manage laboratories in such ways as to maximize the use of resources, time and people to the full of the funding provided. Using COQ with financial tracking at the executive level smoothly transition into the prioritization scheme of TOC for breaking down barriers to throughput at the front lines of production and services delivery. So I will pass to my friend for continue to present.
Hello, thank you. Boleh dengar tak?
Okay.
Okay. I will present about how they implement the TOC. So, in this article, TOC define the constraint of weak link by balancing resources in and other operational approach from the bottom up, mix of COQ from the top down. Other than that, they're also eliminating any waste such as for external or internal failure and increasing prevention contohnya melalui through planning, and they're also stabilizing advisor minimize cost per unit. So we can say that POC was described as a potential to breaking down the silos of department all budget and short-term thinking and reduce total outlays to eliminate quality while managing total quality cost. So, I will move to another point in this article, which is suggestion. Okay. So, in this article, they gather organizational data support both of the COQ and TOC to for improvement cycle. There are two approach in this article they use, which is the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. So, I will explain a little bit about the top-down approach, which is they use the COQ to prioritize improvement opportunities based on revenue and expenses analysis. And for the bottom-up approach, they begin with CAPA at the daily management level, often addressing internal failures, audit findings, or forecasting opportunities. This of both perspektif use targeted metric. Contoh kat sini paling senang, contoh macam nowadays kita kan tengah hadapi pandemic of COVID-19. So, kat sini kita dapat petunjuk utama yang dilaporkan dari bottom up untuk hasil tinjauan harian ataupun mingguan. So, bila kita fikir pasal COC, of course, we can certainly draw a parallel with 4-hour weight in the testing line ataupun kita ada masalah HPPE. We can conclude that the COQ and TOC can make a strong synergistic partnership to improvement. So they can combine and create sustainable. So this is my part. Thank you, and I will pass to the next presenter. So, next presenter.
Assalamualaikum. Boleh dengar? Boleh.
I am Nur Farah Fatini and my friend Siti Nur Syahada. We are going to present about Article 2, which is implementation of theory of constraint in manufacturing plant. So this study is conducted in the supply chain department of a manufacturing plant to understand the benefit of implementation of theory of constraint. A survey using a questionnaire is carried out among the employees of the department to get the results. So the issue article is, the first one is to understand the benefit of constraint. Second one is constraint or a bottleneck which will restrict or limit the system ability to achieve the goal of profit maximization. The third one is identifying weak link, which is constraint. And the last one is inadequate supply of raw material, lack of equipment capacity, or the constraint that can be behavioral or policy related which can limit the production capabilities. So for the next is implementation of TOC. The first one is continuously looking for constraint as this change with the changes in environmental condition. And the second one is improving coordination among various departments. So for the next one, I'm gonna pass to Siti Nushahada.
The third one is applying applying theory of constraint to understand the constraints in the supply chain and helps in gaining benefit of supply chain collaboration. The fourth one is applying theory of constraints along with other improvement approaches such as lean manufacturing and quality management approaches of TQM and Six Sigma. The last one is reduce inventory levels, reduce transportation lead times and costs, improve forecasting accuracy leading to better customer service levels. Okay. The next is a suggestion or recommendation. First is use a methodology called drum buffer rope methodology for implementation of theory of constraints. It is named after the three essential elements of the solution, which is drum, buffer, and rope. Drum is the constraints of weakest link that set the pace of production. Buffer is the level of inventory needed to maintain consistent production, and rope is a signal generated from the buffer to release material. Second one is the theory of constraints maintains that a few constraints keep complex processes such as business functions from reaching optimized performance. Managers will have to identify the constraints that affect their business and work to mitigate their impact and remove them. I'll pass to Article 3 to continue.
Hello.
Dengar. So continue.
The issues of Article 3 are the impact on the performance of manufacturing plants deriving from the adoption of TOC practices. TOC production should be adopted and implemented in an almost identical similar site across different manufacturing plants. The contingency theory of the firm suggests that every company can design its own TOC production strategy in terms of organizations and management. The second one, the base way of organizing manufacturing based on TOC principles, which means adopting a specific set of tools and methodologies. TOC production should be adopted and implemented in an almost identical similar style of a different manufacturing plants. The contingency theory of difference suggests that every company can design its own TOC production strategy too. So next presenter, findings. Echa.
Okay, I will explain about findings of this article.
Kuat sikit Echa.
Okay.
Mana Echa? Kuat sikit.
Hello? Hello?
Kuat sikit, kuat sikit. Okay, continue.
First, the findings from this article, we know that statistic analysis from this article indicates that TOC production has been adopted and implemented in different ways. TOC production has relatively important in French and Spanish plant, not so important to Germany plant. In British plant, TOC has been adopted earlier than other countries. Next, close connection between high manufacturing performance and TOC indicate that British are effectively utilizing TOC practice to improve operational performance in terms of inventory level.
Satu ni Syah. Ni ke? Slide ni ke?
Yes, findings.
Okay.
At second, this study also highlights about importance of specific TOC practice. We find that they use three most effective methods to improve manufacturing performance of their plant. First, non-constrained resources with excess capacity. Second, drum buffer road methodology. And the last, master schedule optimized for constrained resource. That's all that I can find in this article. Back to Hana for the recommendation or suggestion.
Okay, for recommendation or suggestion, first, manufacturing manager should consider adopting some TOC practices instead of others. Madam slide sebelum lagi.
Slide ni
Yang
ke?
tadi.
Slide ni?
Yang ni. Recommendation.
Yang ni ke?
Ya.
Oh, ya, okay.
Okay, manufacturing manager should consider adopting some TOC practices instead of others, like the drum buffer road methodology, the development of a master production schedule based on constraint, and the use of non-constrained resources with excess capacity are among the most important practices to enhance competitive performance of manufacturing plants. The second one, the users a survey questionnaire to collect data from a sample of 61 European firms which have implemented the TOC approach. Like the data we are collected from 61 manufacturing plants. There's like located in Spain, United Kingdom, Germany, and so on. There has 7 measurement scales that have been proposed. The major difference aspect of TOC. The first one, drum buffer road methodology, time buffer management, MRP for optimized schedules, material movement, master schedule, and non-constrained resources, and 7 backward and forward schedule. The non-constrained resources with excess capacity and master schedule optimized for constrained resources will part as the most effective approaches to improve manufacturing performance. That's all. Conclusion. Next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone. I'm Aisha binti Aziz. Finally,
I like to bring this presentation to a close with conclusion. So in conclusion, managers in successful companies must differentiate between theories that will have a lasting value and the fluff of impractical ideas which will have a deleterious effect on profitability. From a theoretical viewpoint, it is clear that theory of constraint and throughput accounting do not contribute original methodologies to the product mix decision. However, this is academic and what is important is the theory's effect on profitability. There is some evidence a TOC or TA based approach may be used within a wide range of product mix decision and can lead to acceptable solutions, sometimes with slight variations. In summary, the theory of constraint or throughput accounting based approach as a direct costing approach may be more suitable for short-term product mix decisions. It is clear than approaches that allocate indirect costs of more or less arbitrarily. Thank you. That's all from us. Okay, question and answer. Q&A. Q&A. Okay, so we go back to article 1. So, mana article 1? So, these articles daripada industri mana ni? Siapa nak jawab? Hello? Boleh dengar tak?
Boleh dengar, Doktor.
So the article 1 ni, which industry ni? Can you tell a little bit about the background of this article 1? I mean from the which industry, from where, which country, and also the which industry they have? Can you explain the little bit about the article 1? Siapa nak jawab ni? Nur Farhana ke siapa? Sebab dia tak bagi tahu ni which industry ni, from which industry?
Kejap, Madam.
Yeah.
Based on yang
Sebab issue is, yes.
based on yang saya macam faham, dia pasal manufacturing technology ataupun dia macam ada kaitan juga dengan medical technology.
I see. So from where? The research ni daripada mana research ni? From
Maksud Madam,
bagi tahu kat artikel 1 tu. Mention or not?
saya kurang dengar, line saya sekat.
Oh, I see. Yang the rest yang lain? Mana group member lagi? Mana group member yang lain?
Madam,
Ya. Yeah.
tadi Madam tanya pasal apa
Artikel 1 from which country yang ni you buat artikel 1 ni? Daripada artikel 1 you tu dia mention ke tidak?
Rasanya tak ada mention, tapi dia cuma cakap macam dia ingat balik lepas pada kes COVID ni, dia ingat yang dia kerja dengan federal government macam tu.
Is a western country ke mana ni? Western or
I think Western.
is it okay, from the western country tu you tak bagi tahu lah which industry yang dibuat ni. Which
Ya,
country
ya.
of industry.
Ah,
Alright. Okay.
sebab dia macam nak relate dengan negara kita hadapi COVID-19 sekarang.
Oh, I see. So sebab tajuk je ni. Okay. Okay, pasal artikel 2 ni. Okay, artikel 2 ni the issue is pasal the failures of the controlling the raw material kan. No. Sebab artikel 1 tu dia cerita pasal the failure in controlling the raw material. Isn't it? Artikel 1 ni dia cerita pasal dia nak control dari segi the raw material dia kan. Sama, kurang juga sama artikel 2 dan juga artikel 3. And then the articulations about the supply chains management in the raw material lah. And they use the TTOC, isn't it? Kan? Hello? Mana group member ni?
Ya, betul.
Artikel 2 ni dia cerita pasal masalah dari segi the supply chains management kan? In terms of dia punya raw materials and dia nak apply for the TTOC lah. Isn't it? Kan? Betul tak?
Betul, madam.
Yes, and then apa yang finding dia ni sebab IT ni nak cerita pasal finding ni. Artikel 3 dia ada finding artikel 2 ni. Okay, ni artikel 2 sekarang. Artikel 2. Okay, this is the article 2, isn't it? So article 2, the issue is because of the supply chain management in the raw material. They have the lack of equipment capacity, the constraints kan. Because of the, and then they want to try to implement the theory of constraints, isn't it? And then what they found, but this one, we're not sure whether is the finding is can reduce or not. But this one just implementation of the TOC only. Is it the implementation of TOC is the finding of this articles? Who present the article 2 ni? Siapa buat artikel 2?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Is it the finding is they use the implementation of the theory of constraint from the article 2?
Yes.
Sebab the issue is because of the supply chain, the inadequate of the supply of the raw material. Ada constraint kat situ kan? That means raw material and then they want to implement the TOC. Is it the finding ni? Pas tak faham sangat ni ya? Ataupun dia tak implement lagi? Artikel 2 ni. Sebab kita nak tahu juga memanglah dia kata kalau untuk isu the supply chain management, they use the TOC. But they use on
Sekat-sekat lah, madam.
sekat-sekat apa saya?
Tak dengar, madam.
Ya not? Orang lain dengar tak? Ada group member.
Sekat-sekat juga, madam.
Sekat-sekat suara saya kan sekat-sekat.
Madam.
Suara madam.
Okay, so saya saya chatting Saya chat Okay. Artikel 2. Artikel 2. clear dah ni? Okey, boleh jawab tak? Okay, anyone?
Sekejap Madam.
Okay, boleh ke?
Madam,
Yes. From
sebelum
the two,
kalau boleh tak kalau dia orang cari apa dulu yang Madam nak tu, tapi apa kita proceed dengan artikel 3 dulu kejap. Macam Madam boleh cakap pasal artikel 3 dulu baru kita back dekat artikel 2. Macam dia orang tengah cari jawapan. Boleh ke Madam?
okay.
Thank you Madam.
So yes. So the article tu about the okay. That means the article tu tak ada masalah. Dia just nak tengok. That means the industry dekat Europe Western, they use or not TOC. And then dia go to the among 5 country. And dia dapat that ada that means of the industry dekat Europe tu, dia implement and adopt the TOC but in the different way. Rasanya artikel tu dah bagi tahu finding kat sini. Orang dengar tak?
Dengar, Madam.
Okay, artikel 3 is no problem because they just want to know about the industry at Europe. That means they implement or not the TOC. And then what they found out that one of them they use the TOC but in the different way. Okay. So that means dia guna lah, dia implement lah TOC ni tapi maybe implementation different between the country. It's okay lah, dia dah bagi tahu finding. But the article tu, they have no finding. I don't know which one is the finding. Is it the implementation to finding? Okay. Boleh? So tak tahu nah. So from the article 3, dia dah mentions already nah. Dah mentions already. But from the article 2, we sure is it the implementation TOC is the findings or not? Or they just suggest, but this one is suggestion. That means the suggestion, they use the drum buffer rope ni. Okay, alright. Untuk dia overcome the issue in the supply chains. Okay, but I don't know is it the implementation of TOC is the findings or not lah. Okay, anyhow, so dah pukul 3 dah ni. So untuk group
first group ni, untuk report awak nanti, make sure that untuk artikel 2 ni, you cari dulu nah. Okay, what is the finding in the article 2? Okay, boleh tak?
Boleh,
For
Madam.
this group, boleh lah.
Boleh.
Okay, so kita nak tahu sama ada is it dia just bagi suggestion ataupun memang benda dah dia orang dah apply, tak tahu sebab yang artikel 3 tu memang bagi tahu siap-siap lah memang dia orang guna TOC tapi dengan pendekatan yang berbeza antara country ke country tu. Alright, sebab artikel tu saya tak pasti ni. Okay, so this the conclusion is from article or not ni? Sebab dia kata ni maybe more suitable to the short term product mix decision ni. Daripada artikel daripada mana ni? Hello? Mana grup-grup? Okay, dia kata direct costing approach ni suitable for the short term product mix decision ni. This one is from article ataupun from you all ni? Boleh dengar tak?
Dari tiga-tiga artikel, Madam, conclusion tu.
Oh, I see. Bukan daripada you all lah. Sebab yang ni, sebab saya tak pasti. It's more suitable for the short term product mix decision. Okay, so never mind. So untuk awak nanti, okay, make sure that ada finding lah untuk artikel 2 lah. So rasa kita berhenti dah tak ada soalan kot daripada kawan-kawan awak tu ataupun ada soalan daripada kawan awak? Tak ada? Can we end our meetings now? Because at 3 o'clock I have another class.
Yes, Madam.
Boleh
Boleh, Madam.
Sebab saya ada kelas pukul 3 ni. Okay, so untuk the next class, so kita continue dengan strategic management accounting kita yang mana yang selepas pada target costing tu, alright? Okay, so see you next class.
Madam nak tanya.
Ya.
Kiranya nanti kami hantar report dekat Madam masukkan yang finding artikel 2 saja.
Tak, semua sekali report awak tu kena brief lah. Okay, report awak tu kena accordingly apa yang saya bagi dalam assignment tu lah. Group assignment kan. Dia ada content. You follow that one. Okay, sebab artikel 2 ni sebab saya tak nampak finding dia apa.
Yang kurang dekat artikel 2 saja
Artikel 2. Yang lain tu buat detail sikit lah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Alright.
all.
Okay, so see you next time. See you. We end our class today. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Madam. Thank you, Madam.
Terima kasih, Madam.